What does the declaration of a national disaster exactly mean?
Well, Adam, this means that firstly, the central government will have all the resources it needs to tackle the pandemic. This could be in terms of the budget, manpower, and other assets. Now, secondly, declaring a national disaster would mean that Indonesia is open to large-scale foreign help. A national disaster can come in three forms. First, it can be a natural disaster. Secondly, a non-natural national disaster. And third, a social national disaster. Now, this current one would certainly fall under the non-natural national disaster since we're talking about a pandemic. Now, there are a number of conditions for the government to declare a national disaster. First, there has to be a huge loss in terms of lives and to the economy. There also must be a huge impact on society. Also, a national disaster is declared when the local government is deemed to be incapable to function and the central government needs to take over. Now, in the past, a national disaster was declared only twice. The first was in 1992 during the earthquake and tsunami in Flores, East Nusa Tenggara province. The second was in 2004 during that massive tsunami that rocked Aceh, which claimed more than 160,000 lives.
So, Saiful, how will this change the way Indonesia tackle the pandemic from now?
A little will change in the way Indonesia tackles the pandemic from now on. Actually, at this point, declaring a national disaster means little. On 10th of March, the World Health Organization called on Indonesia to step up its response to the pandemic by declaring a national emergency. Indonesia's reply to the WHO then was that the country had already declared itself a corona disaster emergency on 28th January, and that status was extended until 29th of May. Now, the corona disaster emergency then was declared by the National Disaster Mitigation Agency, or BNPB. Now, the agency said that the disaster emergency is similar to a national disaster status. The government already has the means to deploy whatever is necessary to fight the pandemic. The agency already has the authority to coordinate between ministries and coordinate between local governments, and it has funds at its disposal. Now, the government has also recently announced nearly $25 billion to battle the outbreak, which will widen the budget deficit to a record high of 5.07% of GDP. In addition, Indonesia has received foreign aid. A number of countries have provided assistance to Indonesia, including China, South Korea, and also Singapore. Countries have provided Indonesia with COVID-19 test kits and other medical equipment badly needed by healthcare workers, like protective gear. Now, observers said the most important thing now that President Joko Widodo has declared COVID-19 as a national disaster is that hopefully there will be better coordination between the central and local governments. In addition, it has the impact of raising public awareness to make the public aware of the severity of the coronavirus that has claimed many lives and claimed people's livelihoods, to make the public aware that there is a crisis.
We certainly hope so, Saiful. Thank you very much for that report. Saifulbahri Ismail, our Indonesia correspondent.